Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Hawk Talk, a victorious post-game edition for all of you. And we have, if nothing else, proven without a shadow of a doubt, I am not the road good luck charm. This team wins whether I'm traveling with them or not, and they do it again against what was a 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars team in a game that I feel like wasn't as close as the score. But we will talk about it, and I got to start with my Mariners stash buddy, Deryck Gebe. Let's bring it. We got one of the two games Seattle sports fans are looking for today, Deryck, and Jeff's gonna, he's gonna have a split day, hopefully, a little happy, a little sad.
Yeah. That was Brian. I totally agree with your sentiment. Sorry to jump right into it, but totally agree with your sentiment that game was not close. Just not even remotely close. And maybe there is something to talk about that the Seahawks could have taken a couple more advantages of their opportunities to really put that game away, but it's a good win. And Mike Macdonald keeps it going on the road.
Jeff, I want to hear your overall thoughts, but I got to say, man, Mike Macdonald, without Julian Love, without Devin Witherspoon, without Tariq Woolen, goes in there, and a week after facing a similar offense from Tampa Bay that just exploited them and started this game with some coverage busts, this was a pretty good day to be Mike Macdonald.
Yeah, their D-line took over the game, and they were using blitzes, and they were attacking the quarterback. And outside of some horrible plays from our backup DBs, coverage busts, some pretty fluky plays from Trevor Lawerence, I think if the DBs are in that game, I think Seattle's up 20-0 at that point, and maybe wins that game 27-3 or something. Josh Jobe gave up a free touchdown when he should have picked the ball, and then they scored another touchdown on him. But yeah, to win that game and not have that secondary blow the game, and I thought DeMarcus Lawrence made a big difference today, guys. That play at the end of the half where he sacks them to take them out of field goal range, they missed the field goal, and they go and split the 3 points. I thought Murphy had an awesome game. They obviously made adjustments. Their backup DBs were pretty rough, I thought, overall. But I thought Emmanwori had a really, really impactful game. But I thought it was going to be another game where the defense couldn't close, and I had a pit in my stomach the entire second half, man.
I feel like that's we got to go there next, right? If there's been an issue with this team this year, it's been that they've been, I think, pretty much the better team in most games, but they can't finish. Yeah. They can't finish. And they've done it sometimes, but they've more often not. And it's not just an offensive thing, and it's not just a defensive thing. It's both. And it was looking like this was going to be another game where there was going to be a ton of regret. If Jacksonville had found some way to come back, even tie this game, that would have been a disaster. Instead, Deryck, I'm looking at the last few drives here. Jacksonville goes in their last 3 drives, 3 yards, 5 plays, punt, 6 yards, 20 plays, 6 plays, 20 yards, punt, 3 plays, -8 yards on a drive that they were 100% going to go 4 down. They had to punt because they got -8 yards. That is how you close a football game. And by the way, the offense did their part at the end as well with a huge, maybe Clint Kubiak's best play call of the day to AJ Barner, man. What do you think? What do you think about how they closed this game?
Yeah, I think to Jeff's point, the D-line was, dominant all day long. I think they sacked Trevor Lawrence 7 times at the end of the day. That was kind of the game, I think, that we've maybe been waiting for a little bit from the D-line. I think individually guys have had some good days. Byron Murphy had a couple sacks a few games ago. Oh my God. Tank always shows up. DeMarcus Lawrence really showed up in a big way. This defense, the way I phrased it throughout the day was very boom or bust. They were generating a lot of negative plays. Those screen plays that Jacksonville were running weren't going anywhere. But then you get the coverage bust from what are effectively practice squad guys at this point that you just got to get healthy and that'll resolve itself. But good to see that they closed the game out. I do have a little nitpick with Kubiak's play calling. I think throughout the fourth quarter, I think you don't take the ball out of Darnold's hand when he's dealing like that, and your run game is so ineffective. And to the point about closing games on offense, it's the lack of a run game and really having a consistent performance there. Today, I think they didn't even get across over 3 yards a carry between the running backs. Charbonnet was just back to like rookie year Charbonnet that couldn't get anything going on the ground. It was just pretty frustrating game from that perspective. But like you said, they closed it when they needed to.
Yeah, and I'm just looking here. The last time the Seahawks had 7 sacks in a game. Hold on. I'm gonna have to go back and find do a different search. That did not come up properly. But Jeff, I mean, this felt to me, especially early on, like not Kubiak's best game. I didn't love the game plan. It worked. It worked out well enough, but it felt like I didn't love the game. Personally, I felt like they didn't lean into the run enough early. I thought they were having some success with K9 at least. And this rotating back and forth with Charbonnet, I don't see it. Where has Charbonnet outperformed Kenneth Walker to this point in the season? I haven't seen it in any game.
Yeah, I think the worst sequence of the game was when they got inside the 10-yard line and early in the game, and they run 3 plays to Charbonnet for a while, like 3 combined yards. Don't throw the ball to the end zone.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Awful. And they're rotating them every series. I think in the second half they gave Walker a little bit more. But the usage of it is perplexing because right now Walker just looks like a far better player. And like Deryck said, Charbonnet looks like a guy who's got no juice right now. And I don't know if it's the run blocking, I don't know if it's him, but we've seen when he tries to split carries or he tries to be the change of pace, I don't know, he doesn't have it. He only seems to show some explosion when he's the main volume back. But we've seen now for 3 years when he splits carries, he's just really ineffective. And it felt like they wasted a bunch of drive. That one of inside the red zone where JSN is just completely cooking at that point. And the second half, it thought like they had 3 chances to close out the game earlier. And all those 3 drives felt clunky. And there's like a 3rd and 2 where they had a long developing drop and there's an obvious blitz call and there's no short play. And it was very frustrating the way the offense was in the second half. And really outside of that deep ball to JSN, it wasn't a very comfortable offensive performance. Outside of the drive coming out of the half, that's the team I want to see. The play actions, get Cooper Kupp in space. That's the offense that should work. But the game was just fairly frustrating, and Sam Darnold was getting pressured a lot in the second half, and he almost made a killer mistake at the end of the game.
Oh my God!
And he had an up and down day. He missed some passes that could have been big plays with inside throws, but that play is hanging in the air. I'm like, oh my God, is this last week all over again? And there's times where just Kubiak gets way too conservative. There was a early run in a 3rd down spot. 3rd and 13, I think, and they don't throw. Still mixed bag for him.
Yeah. So I got something to add to that. That's also kind of on the negative side. But before I do, I mean, Seahawks are 4-2, one against a 4-1 team that just beat the Chiefs, beat the 49ers on the road. We're going to talk about all the positives. I think that part of this, and I think all of our reaction is the Seahawks are significantly better than the Jaguars. To win with those 3 players on defense out and to dominate them on the defensive side, and then to also potentially not even play your best game offensively and still comfortably win the game, that's a really, really good sign. And I'm getting to the point, guys, where my thought about the Seahawks isn't is this team good? The Seahawks are freaking good. They're good offensively. They're good defensively. They're good on special teams. It's about, can they get out of their own way? Can they put the things together? Can they close games? Some of those details. And so when Sam Darnold, I would say this was his worst game of the season. And people might be like, what are you talking about? Statistically, the first game, he did nothing. He made all good decisions, all good throws in that game, from my perspective in the first game. There were a couple of throws in this game. I would say 3 throws that may end up being turnover-worthy plays when they go back and look at it that were put into tight coverage. They were put into harm's way. And that decision he made to throw that ball when he was pressured in that was a game-losing play. He is incredibly lucky that the guy that was on Jacksonville was not just sitting there to catch it and either run it in for a touchdown or completely blow this game. That can't happen. So, I mean, you look at his numbers, 16-27, 295 yards, 10.9 yards per throw. The guy's yards per attempt is going to be historic so far. He's having a Brock Purdy 2023 kind of year in that regard. But there were a couple like really questionable decisions. And part of what's been so amazing about him so far is he's just almost not made a bad decision all year long. That's what has gotten me so excited about him.
I think today was a little concerning from the pressure perspective, where he didn't have an answer to pressure. And I don't know if that could be a play calling thing, that could be on him, but it seems like throughout the season he's handed. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background.
That's all right.
It seems like all season he's had decent answers and been able to avoid pressure, but then actually complete plays. Today it was like either one read or he just couldn't find a way to get out of it. So I think from that perspective, Brian, you kind of talked a little more widely about how good this team is. To me, it's going to be like if Darnold has more and more moments like that, or say the pass game is struggling a little more, this run game really has to show up, I think, for this team to threaten in the playoffs.
Jeff, I saw your reaction when I said about this might be his worst game. Tell me what your thoughts are.
I don't disagree with you. Obviously the deep shot he makes to JSN is one of the throws of the season. Like, other than like a couple Drake May throws, there's not a lot of better throws than that. But I think down, there was like, after some of those inexcusable, the JSN spinning the ball, and they still have chances to like get out of that drive, and Horton's up the field, JSN's up the field. He misses those throws. And I think in just the second half, there was a throw to like Cooper Kupp in a super tight window that he was going the other way. There's no business making that throw. And that turnover worthy play at the end could have been a lot like last week. And if there's 3 of those in 6 games, it's pretty bad. But overall, like, he was pretty steady. He still did a good job. But I think Derek's right. I think overall, like, they didn't have a great plan when they were setting up blitzes at them, and the protection plans didn't look particularly like. There was a 3rd and 2 late in the game. I think it was their 3rd last drive, and they're blitzing. Like, you can see they're moving in the guy. Like, you figure you will watch so many teams just have an easy answer there, and he just stands there and holds the ball and like waits, and like that was bad quarterback.
That was the most frustrating one, because it's 3rd and 2. They need a stop. Like, they have to get a stop, otherwise you're going to drain the clock. Like, that was, you just know they're going to unload on you there.
I have to see the all 22 before I put that on Sam. So
Fair.
It could very well be that was on him. It also, if his first read wasn't open, he wasn't getting that ball off regardless. And because the blitzer was coming right into his throwing lane. And so it had to be the first read. And so if Kubiak did not give him somebody, or the guy didn't get open, then actually Sam did the right thing to eat it and take the sack. Like, I'd take that play over the play a series later, like where he almost lost the game, right? So to me, it was like, why was there no like width-wise outlet for him? There was only vertical in that situation. If he could have thrown it to the flat, that guy still might be running.
I think that was the frustration was the lack of a quick outlet.
The play design.
You got to have a hot read.
You throw the ball to the screen with the blitz. It's an easy first down.
Right. And but it is possible when we see the all 22, it might be that there was a guy open and Sam short circuited. So I don't know.
Inaudible or.
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of 3rd down, Seahawks were 1 of 12 today, by the way. Which
really? See, that was
1 of 12.
Pretty crazy, and Sam still finished statistically. I mean, fantastic.
Well, that's the thing.
Well, he has 2 huge passes in the game, Barner play, and okay. But on the positive, I think there's a case that JSN might be the MVP of the whole league right now.
At least offensive player of the year conversation, right?
Like, who's playing? Like, Puka got hurt today. I don't know how serious it is, but I think that was his main competition. Daniel Jones had to struggle to beat Jacoby Brissett today. They won the last play of the game. Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, those guys are all down right now. Drake May is playing out of his mind, but like, JSN's on pace for like a historic season.
He is. So I'm trying to do the math right now.
Yeah.
He's on pace for 1,972 yards now.
My God. He was so good today. I mean, the fact that he just comes in and burns their new cornerback on the first snap he plays, and that he beats him deep. And then the rest of the game, he is like, some of the routes he runs, like Doug Baldwin sitting there like, that is very good, Padawan. Like, that is exactly what I want to see. I think one of his best routes of the game came on an early out, like the first 18-yard catch he made, the first down the Seahawks got. The way that he set that guy up on the inside and broke to the outside was unreal, dude. Like that was gorgeous. I hated the taunting. Not that the fact that I think it was a good call. You at this point, you got to know you cannot turn toward the person that was playing you and do anything. You just turn a different direction. Like that was
it's also that he's on their sideline. Like anything you do right in front of them is good. That said, on that catch that he made,
throwing at him.
I know. It just I knew it was gonna. I was surprised it didn't get called, and then it did get called.
Then Darnold got hit in the head on the next play, and they didn't call it. Like that was like 10 times worse than the one they called on Leo in week 1. Where he barely scrapes his head. Got like double hands, hits Darnold in the face.
You're right.
JSN on the catch before the taunting though, like unreal body control and like positioning. Where I mean, he's like watching that thing like over his head basically come in, and to get both feet down and just be completely in control. He's incredible.
So what about the AJ Barner play at the end there? For as much as we criticize Kubiak and some of the other things not going well, that was, I mean, he dialed up the perfect play call, and that's a easy throw. And not that like anybody can make it, but like Sam put it on him, and AJ Barner, look at AJ Barner going for 61 yards. I could have seen him being a red zone touchdown guy in his career. I didn't think he was going to have many 20+ yard catches over his career. That was pretty cool to see.
Did it seem to anyone else like they were trying to get Arroyo more snaps today? I'm curious to see how the snap counts break out, but I don't know. I think I saw him more often than he has been.
So, he had 25 snaps today, same amount as Torrey Horton. AJ Barner had 43 snaps today, and Eric Saubert had 22. So he had the second most of the tight ends.
Well, and he slips on the first one. That's going to be a chunk play. Like that's a well-designed play. Space. Bad luck there. I don't know if he played in Miami, so I don't know if the heat or anything would mess him up. But that was unfortunate because that would have been a great way for him to start the game.
So we've talked a lot about the offense, but guys, we got to talk about the defense. I mean, they absolutely did. Like Jeff, you and I were talking about it yesterday. This could not be a cover and rush type of day. It had to be a rush so you don't have to cover kind of day. And boy, did they do it. Like 7 sacks.
Sorry.
No, I don't even think 7 sacks tells the story. At least by this measure, they had 17 quarterback hits. 17. Most times you don't get 17 pressures in a game, let alone quarterback hits. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, and when they started to take over the game somewhere in the second and third quarter, like it just felt like those defensive tackles and the defensive line in general had just completely flipped the game. And Brian, you nailed it there, because if the cornerbacks were off, like I was out here on our show pleading for Shaq Griffin last week. I pled for him again yesterday. I understand why they didn't play him now. And he looked stiff. He looked slow. He looked kind of like thick.
He looked better than Nehemiah Pritchett, didn't he?
He did, but like him in space was bad. Him, like the amount of separation, like Seattle was kind of lucky at the end of the game. Like Brian Thomas drops that pass right in his hand. There's another guy wide open. Lawerence throws the ball into the dirt. Like there's a ton of, and Josh Jobe had like, it feels like his story's kind of come back to earth a little bit. Like the interception's right in his hands, and he kicks the ball to Brian Thomas. Luckily, Travis Hunter's offside, and then he still allows us a touchdown.
Yeah, and then the touchdown was kind of rough that he allowed.
He went the wrong way. Ty Okada had some better moments on, but he still had some really ugly plays in zone.
That missed tackle on the sideline.
Yeah. One of the craziest plays of the game.
You guys can't help but go negative on this game. Come on.
Well, Jeff did it. Jeff did it.
I mean, come on.
Well, you said the literally coverage had to work, and it definitely had to work because they couldn't cover anyone. But
really, like,
yeah,
I feel like the coverage had mistakes
wide
early.
open receivers were in that game.
I don't know, man. I felt like they had to mostly go underneath in that game, and like the only plays they were getting were Josh Jobe volleyballing it into the air for what would have been the most embarrassing touchdown reception ever, if not for some of the penalties.
I'll say this. The most impressive play of the game was Drake Thomas on a blitz, throwing over the left tackle Walker Little. And it looked honestly like Micah Parsons. Like I've never seen any sort of athletic feat like that from him. It was such a cool play. But again, I think DeMarcus Lawrence flipped the entire game, and I don't think that should be understated. They were driving. It might have been 13-10 at that point, or 13-9, or no, it would have been 10-9 at that point if they stayed. And Lawrence sack there completely takes them out of field goal range. They miss the kick, and they go down and score. And I thought he was great today. He had a big sack early. He was disruptive. Him and Leo and Murphy, those guys looked awesome, man.
Trevor Lawrence had been sacked 6 times all season for today, so they more than doubled that.
We've got a little troll in our chat that we've had forever. We love him. He's a friendly troll, but he was glazing the Jaguars offensive line all week and how good they are. And I'm like, I don't know. I think their tackles are not that good, and maybe they missed their center. I think Jonah Monheim probably is not going to do that well. Oh, what happened? Something about the 49ers?
Mac Jones interception.
Well, let's go Tampa Bay.
Down inside the 2-yard line. Oh, baby.
If this is correct, and it might not be because different things track different ways, but based off of StatHead or Pro Football References data, this blew away the Seahawks record for quarterback hits in franchise history. So like the most they've ever had was 11. And that was in 2018 when they beat the San Francisco 49ers 43-16. I'm trying to see if that couldn't have been the Jadeveon Clowney game. No, it was not. That was a game where Bobby Wagner had one, Jaron Reed still there, Quentin Jefferson. But they did have Jaron Reed had six quarterback hits in that. Frank Clark had 3. So
that's why the game felt, I think, so not really competitive. Was like every drop back, Trevor Lawrence was getting harassed by the D line. You just felt like the defense was always going to get to him.
And this is the formula, right? Like their defensive line needs to be dominant week in, week out for them to play the style of defense they want. Now, the other guy that we haven't talked about that I think deserves some flowers, Nick Emmanwori.
Oh, I mentioned him in the opening. I thought he was unreal. Yeah.
I think this guy, this guy looks like he could be really good really quickly.
Yeah, like he made a big mistake early, but I think he's around the ball and him in space and his ability to disrupt some of those short passes and tackle. And what I found him so impressive today was how quickly he was identifying things on screens. And we saw what the Bucs did to them last week. He was a total difference maker today.
It's always early, these are in-game grades and they change drastically afterwards. But for what it's worth, PFF has Nick Emmanwori as the highest graded Seahawks defender in this game. He played 70 snaps. 70 snaps. That's a lot for a guy still coming back from an injury. Had a 77.6 grade, 78 run defense grade, which, by the way, was one of the big questions a lot of people had about him is he physical enough in the run game? Even though he's really big, is he physical enough? And then he had a 77.2 coverage grade. He also had 2 pressures. He is looking like the Swiss Army knife. And if you could just add Devin Witherspoon back into this mix and Julian Love, you could just see Mike McDonald's going to have he's going to be like one of those ninjas that has like a throwing star here and like pulling knives out of every part of his body. Like he's got so many weapons to play with when those guys get back.
Yeah, I'm hopeful and excited for when Witherspoon and Love come back because you recomplete the secondary. You have Emmanwori as your Swiss Army knife. This D-line can keep showing up. I think you still want a little more out of the edge. I'm not going to get negative, but you probably still want a little more out of your edge group. DeMarcus Lawrence showed up today, which was great. Nuosu had a couple pressures and a couple hits. Mm-hmm. So you're building there, but you probably want to see a little more. Yeah, go ahead. This unit is even with backups in 12 points against a team that just put up 30 against the Chiefs. I mean, I know the Chiefs defense has fallen off quite a ways probably, but they're not a terrible offense.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I can't play it both ways. I said coming into this game, I thought the Jags were overrated. I did. I thought their offense was cheeks. I thought Trevor Lawerence is one of the dumbest quarterbacks I've seen play. And He didn't do it as much today. He did treat us to one Trevor Lawerence moment where he forgot his own snap count and got an offside, a false start on himself. Like no one else moved on that play, and he tried to back off. I'm like, you have to be the biggest doofus as a quarterback to forget your own snap count. That does not happen. But he also didn't turn the ball over, which I expected him to do. And that Jaguars defense, that was a defense that was surviving off of 3 turnovers per game. 4 of their first 5 games, they had 3+ turnovers. That's not a formula that just sustains, guys. So the Seahawks managed to not turn the ball over today. Lo and behold, they get enough points. The Jaguars offense doesn't benefit from 3 turnovers because people think about it, the defense. Jaguars offense was playing short field or getting touchdowns scored by their defense. When they had to carry the full weight of this game, Jaguars offense, man, is not good. It's not good.
Just a brief counter. Coming into today, they were 14th in EPA per play. Now it's 5 games. You get, if you're only looking at a few games, those things can happen. But I don't think they're awful. And they definitely have some weapons at receiver, and we saw the coverage lapses. But again, we're playing as effectively practice squad guys at this point. You get that back, this defense can easily be another top 10 unit.
You know what was interesting? You talked about the edge. And I don't know if you guys noticed this. Boye Mafe was rarely lined up on edge. They were putting Leonard Williams and even Byron Murphy on the tackles a lot in this game. And Leonard Williams, I think his sack that he came off him playing against the left tackle. And I had heard, talked to Leonard this week, he had been studying the left tackle because he saw something in his protection and his pass sets that he thought he could take advantage of. I don't know if it happened on that play, but I don't know that we've talked enough about Byron Murphy. We mentioned him, but the guy had 7 pressures today, and at least based off of Brady Henderson's research says that's the most by a Seahawks player in a game since Carlos Dunlap had 7 in 2021. He's now got 4.5 sacks on the year. I think we can wipe away any concerns that Byron Murphy was a bad pick last year.
Okay, can I just first say, wow, Carlos Dunlap was 2021? That I thought you were about to say 2023. That's mind blowing to me. That was 2021. Wow.
Yeah.
Byron Murphy, I think Brian 4.5. I think I saw 5, but either way, I think his record at Texas his junior year was 5, and he had 8 in his whole career at Texas. He only had the half sack last year, so his pass rush, development is coming along and already showing returns.
I love watching Jeff watch other games. I'm totally fine with it. He's such a sicko. It's the best. So DeMarcus Lawrence, I thought Ernest Jones had a better game this week. I thought there were some places where he showed up. I don't think Ty Okada played well today, but he had a much more acceptable, kind of replacement level performance than last week, where there were some really egregious errors. We saw actually Connor O'Toole get a couple snaps. We saw Jared Ivey get a couple snaps. I don't think they factored into this game. But Coby Bryant, that's the guy I keep forgetting. Coby Bryant came into this game leading the team in missed tackle rate. And the plays where he was missing tackles, a lot of times, guys, they were on those screens where he was diagnosing it right and jumping to the backfield, but he's diving at people's feet and he was letting them go by. Today, he was great out there today. I don't know what I'm going to look up his ultimate numbers there, but I think he probably had a couple tackles for loss. He did. He had 2 tackles for loss. I don't know that he missed a tackle all day. And I think give him credit because he was the only vet. He was the only vet in that secondary. What were we going to say, Jeff?
Wasn't there a pretty bad missed tackle on the sideline, or am I thinking that's someone else, or is that Drake Thomas?
I think it was Okada. If you're talking about,
I think it was Ty Okada.
Yeah.
Oh,
Coby Bryant had the TFL early. I think was it the first drive when they were back down near the rolling goal line. That was fantastic.
Yeah, he was much better.
Linebacker. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Well, I just said he was much better in run support today. He looked pretty rough, and I think Julian Love. I think just how good he is and how good of a communicator is, I think he really enhances Coby Bryant's play. I just think that having them back there, and I think they complement each other really well without having Love. You saw sometimes where just Brian looked exposed on space. But I think a big thing for him, you can see Mike last week was just seething about the tackling. And for him, Brian, I think, went on PFF and figured out who's leading the league in missed tackles. For him to turn around that quickly against some tough guys to tackle in space on that team, that's a big difference.
Yeah, for what it's worth, and again, these are in-game charting, so it could change. But PFF does not have him missing a tackle in this game. It has Drake Thomas missing 2, and the Seahawks only had 6 missed tackles overall, at least by in-game charting right now. This is a team that's been having double-digit missed tackles regularly this year. So the tackling to me in general felt better. It felt like the guys were flying to the ball a little bit more, and I think the game plan. I got to come back to Mike McDonald. This was a little bit of a prove it game to me for him. And because I don't have a lot of respect for that Jags offense, but you got to play without your best guys. And I thought he did it. And I thought that the defensive line really did it. So that was great to see.
The linebacker position. So Tyrice Knight just seems done. Like Mike McDonald. Brian, can you see how many snaps he got?
Sorry, I'm laughing. I'll tell you what I'm laughing at in a second. What was your question?
Did Tyrice Knight get any snaps today?
So glad you brought that up. He got 2 snaps. Drake Thomas has taken that job.
Man, I have to think John's going to be looking to cook a trade at that spot.
I mean, at least by PFF in-game grades, Drake Thomas had a 76.2 overall grade, 67 against the run, 79.9 pass rush, and a 70.2 coverage grade. So I know Jeff thinks that they spend too much time looking at PFF. That might that might hurt their decision making there. What had me laughing is this is the Evan Hill experience. He just found out that Cody Barton scored a touchdown on a Geno Smith fumble. And he's like, I don't know what to do. My priors are in conflict here. Who do I root for in that situation?
Well, it got taken off. It got called back.
Got overturned.
Evan's able to return to his wherever Evan is right now. I think Evan had a tough time today.
He did. He was really moody about this game. I'm not feeling moody about this. Like, you went on the road against a 4-1 team. I mean, you could piss down your own leg. I don't care. Like, just come away with the win. And they did. And this is a game they needed to get. This was not a game most people expected them to get. They've lost some games that they should have won. So you got to, at some point, start flipping the script the other direction. And this was one where I just don't feel like it just wasn't in conflict for most of this game, which is really, really cool. Offensively, offensive line play. Was it just me, or did the offensive line do pretty well today from a pass protection standpoint?
Pass protection, I'd agree. The run blocking is just...
They're not getting off the ball.
It's not clicking.
There's just not a lot of holes. Guys are getting through. 2 guys are blocking the same guys. They're not. I think Mike's always talking about them targeting. It doesn't seem like they're targeting right. They look nothing like the team we saw in the preseason in terms of run blocking.
Well, that's for sure. That's been the case for a while. I felt like Clint Kubiak was hurting them in that regard. There was, I think he was like trying to pass on first down quite a bit, which I know analytics would say is a good thing, and they've been a good early down passing team. But I feel like they just weren't, when they were running on first down, I felt like they were doing relatively well, at least with Ken Walker. I also thought the Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet split, I don't understand it. I don't understand why Charbonnet is seeing equal snaps to Ken Walker. It's just not close. And it felt like for a while when Walker was on the field, they'd have a drive where they'd score. And then Charbonnet would come on the field and they'd do nothing. It's not that simple. But I saw some plays, like especially toward the end, where Charbonnet took a first down carry. It was well blocked on the left side. He stumbles, can barely keep his feet, gets 3 yards. If that's Ken Walker, I think that's an explosive run. I don't necessarily think it's going to the house, but there was a lot of room there, and he just falls on his face. So
he looks slow again. Like
he does.
I don't.
Who?
Like
does
Sharps.
Okay,
Like,
because
I
people
thought
saying
his
Walker
whole-
looked slow, and I'm like, I don't know.
He
But
was fine. Like
yeah.
Sharp looked slow, I think, his whole rookie season. And then last year was better. And you're like, okay, this guy's little juice. And now it's back to Sharps, and I'm like, this guy's taking forever to get up to speed, forever to get to the line. I just don't get it.
It's so weird.
Why don't they give some carries to George Halani, like the preseason king? I don't know.
Yeah, it's so strange with him because when he's complimenting or changing pace, he consistently, like even the first half of last year, he looked really slow. And then Walker got hurt and Charbonnet had some of his best games we've seen with him. He needs volume for some reason to be efficient and to be successful. And when he doesn't get volume, I don't know if he's thinking too much. I don't know if he's trying to do too much, but it doesn't work. It has not worked in 3.5 years now.
Yeah. I think it's a really great call out, Jeff.
Mark Schlereth would say it's you need more body blows. So
I have to admit, I was really worried about Schlereth today.
He was fine.
I thought he was fine. I thought Chris Myers
He was
sounded
bad.
like a robot. Like, I could not hear my producer. I do not know how to survive without my producer. And then he's like, that looked like a catchable ball when Trevor Lawerence threw it like 5 yards off target and barely hit the guy's hand. I'm like, do you know? And he's like, and if the Seahawks score a touchdown here, they only need a field goal, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, do you know anything about the game that you're calling? Like, he was terrible.
Schlereth is usually like my least favorite analyst, but I thought he was fine today.
Guys, we got some news.
Yeah.
Fred Warner, they're putting an air cast on his leg. The whole 49ers team is on the field. You hope for, honestly, genuinely hope for the best. Fred Warner is one of the best players to play this game. And even though he kills us, I love watching that guy play. He is, I don't know if there's a bigger delta between the best player at a position and the second best than there is at linebacker because of Fred Warner. He's that good. If that is as serious of an injury as it's sounding like, I think that's the kind of injury that takes the 49ers out of the trade market for an edge rusher. Like, I don't know how you can justify going big for a veteran edge rusher if you've lost Bosa and Fred Warner. Like, that would just make no sense. Let's hope he's okay. Let's hope it's not as bad as it seems. But everyone that's seeing it says it looks really, really bad.
I'm really curious about how this game goes between Tampa Bay and San Francisco. I mean, talk about a benchmark game. You had the absolute shootout with no defense last week, which, it's because of backups. But, you also got stifled week 1 against the Niners. So I think it's just fascinating.
Those are two best players. Those are the two best players, Bosa and Warner.
100%.
Ever since David Lombardi called them the healthiest team in the NFL, they've had a catastrophic run of injuries.
What a absolute! I mean, for a guy that's clearly a fan of the team,
and their two best All-Pro players. Like, what? I don't want to make light.
It also was just never true, right? Like, it was just never true.
I hope that fan base really turns on them. That would be great content.
Can I show you guys? Oh my gosh, I got to figure out how to show this to you guys because it's just so good. While I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you something else, which is Anthony Bradford's pass block grade for this game. Any guesses after his 0.0 a week ago?
68.
68. Jeff, you got any guesses?
59.
Try 74.4. How do you like them apples, guys? Come on.
Brian, you really want to take a victory lap on a instant live grade?
No, I don't. But I am excited for him. I'm excited for the Seahawks. If he can be good, it's better for the Seahawks. Okay, check this out from AJ Barner on Instagram. Look at these guys. That's your tight end room. Saubert, Elijah Arroyo, AJ Barner, and Brady Russell, all wearing their shades, chilling
some
after
interesting shades.
Win.
Barner has on.
Love that. All right. Yeah, please.
Cooper Kupp was like really excited when he got his first catch today. I don't know. That guy's probably just like, man, I just want to get involved in this offense more, and it was just good to see him so fired up.
That was really cool. I thought that was a great catch, and the fact that he kept his feet and got more, like,
That was awesome.
that was great. Like, he doesn't have to be your 100-yard guy. If he can do that once a game, he's. Do you guys all feel the way I do, that I'm completely fine with his contract? Like, with what you're getting from him, I think he's been fine.
Yeah, for this season at least. I mean, I seem to recall that cap structure was pretty backloaded, right? Yeah, 9 million this year. Next year 17, and the year after is 18. Like, you probably want to see a little more if you're going to keep him around for another season. Like, if he's getting you 600 yards, you're probably not paying 17 million for that. But
yeah, you might want to add another year, just lower the hit and then cut him after year 2. But he's been like, when he gets the ball in space, he is a lot quicker and a lot more comfortable in space than I would have guessed. And like the route he runs in the end zone, he hasn't had great separation all year. He doesn't have that left. But when you consider what he's adding as a blocker, that he is a pretty good compliment. I think he has, helped JSN quite a bit. I think that signing's been pretty solid. I think it's allowed them to do a lot of things they can do with the way they can run those condensed looks and all that talk. Like, JSN and Kupp are too similar. Like, well, how are you going to run an offense with two? Like, that has to. This whole offseason was just horrible takes in general. Like, if you look at some of the teams that were crowned, some of the players that were crowned, it's getting laughable every week. Some of the dumb things that were said nationally all winter.
We didn't talk about Kupp's touchdown at all. Like, Jeff, you mentioned it there. That was great. That was a great adjustment to the ball. Great throw. Like, just the timing was so good by Darnold.
Dude, how can I have forgotten that play? Until you said that, I was like, yeah, he did have a touchdown. That's right. And it was a great play call. It was a great throw by Darnold on a third down in the red zone. And like, Kupp beat their best corner, Jordan Lewis, who's been one of the better nickel corners in football. All those things are really good signs. Jeff, you look like you were going to say something.
No, I'm really happy with the Kupp signing. I thought that play was it looked like vintage Kupp, him smoothly beating the corner. Like Deryck said, it was a great throw in a tough window. And that whole drive just was like, when we were rolling there and we got the drive right out of the half and Kupp just looked awesome. Like, there weren't a lot of great vibes in that game. I felt like everyone was just in there like, don't blow this, don't blow this, don't blow this. And that was probably the high point of like the real fun moment of the game.
Cool. I'm seeing Byron Murphy talk up on the podium right now, and worth just mentioning again, you know, his wife, they had their baby, who was premature, and they're both, the baby and the mom are both doing really well. And for Byron to have this game on the week of his kid's birthday, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So congratulations to him on that. All right. Some closing thoughts here, guys. Seahawks moved to 4-2. The Rams moved to 4-2. How are you feeling about the Seahawks team right now? Jeff, I'll start with you.
They're an objectively good team, but they need to stay out of their own way. And they make things a lot harder. They should be 6-0. And I think, Brian, you said in our chat earlier, they're a young team that makes young and stupid mistakes. And I know, so I got a DM right now from a guy who I respect. Was like, Mike McDonald looks incompetent. I'm like, what are you talking about? That was a weird take from this game, but I think it's just because how, like, it just felt like they're going to blow another game on defense. And so it feels like if they can stop self-destructing and learn to close games, and I think that's part of being a young team. I think it's part of having some of the roster issues they've had in the season. I'm looking around the league, and I said it yesterday to you, Brian. There's not a lot of great teams right now. The Seahawks look closer to being like a really, really good team than the mediocre middle we've been for so long. And like, I watched the Rams play to the Ravens, missing Lamar Jackson. Look, the Rams look as mid as they barely, like, it took some freaky plays to win that game. And the Colts were the other team. Like, they barely beat Jacoby Brissett. Like, I'm looking, there's opportunity. I haven't watched much of Tampa right now, but like, this team should be 6-0. For sure, you blow one of those games, you could be 5-1, but this team is getting pretty good. And like, to win the game like that comfortably over what all people thought was a pretty good team, I think that's a really encouraging sign for where this team's going.
We've got some super chats, Deryck. I'm going to get your thoughts on the other side of these super chats really quickly. Munglees says, give me JSN Offensive Player of the Year. I think that's in we should look up odds. I mean, it's going to be starting to go high. Clayster says, I really don't understand all the Sharps runs. They almost never work. Why does Kubiak keep spamming them? We all want to know. Don't know. Don't have a good answer for you. Halo Hawk says, let's effing go. 7 sacks, baby. Go Hawks. Absolutely. Andy Backlund, a member, says, does it seem like our offense seems to suck once we get a lead? That has to be coaching, right? So I think this is what Evan was getting upset about. Did you guys feel like the play calling got conservative and they went and like buried their heads? Is that why?
It did a little bit. It did a little bit, but like once you have a lead, that's typically where you want to see a run game come through and deliver. And I think that's the missing piece on this offense right now.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Sawyer Heck says this Charb K9 split is hurting the offense. 100% agree. Ross Lake, Boy Mafe, where you at? I thought this was going to be the game. I admit I don't think he got as many edge chances as I would have hoped for, but DeMarcus Lawrence got sacks. Uchenna Nwosu got a sack. Where's Boy Mafe?
So I was watching the Dolphins-Chargers game a little bit on Red Zone. Every time they seem to flip to it, I saw my guy Jalen Phillips chasing down Justin Herbert. So here's my trade idea. The Dolphins have one of the worst corner rooms in the league. I think Reek Woolen would love playing in Miami. Reek Woolen for Jalen Phillips. Both in the last year of their contract. I know people might want to trade Reek, what's going on right now in the DB room, which is totally justified. You say you can't trade them after watching these other guys. I get it, but I think that's a trade that could work for both teams.
Yeah. Don't hate it. Flash says Zach Charbonnet's usage is beginning to seem forced. D-Law and our interior is legit. O-line held up well again. Another edge rusher, as Jeff was just talking about, would help out. Seahawks 17 says, love my Seahawks, but living in Southern Ontario, go Blue Jays. Should be a great series. Screw the Blue Jays and all your Canadian bullshit. Like, you guys are going down. Jeff Simmons, Corbin, Jen Maz, like all you Canadian folks, just know that tonight's going to be your best chance to win. You better win tonight. I mean, you better win.
Guessing you don't have me on the show this week. Yeah, I think you won't want to see it.
Oh, dude, what we're gonna do post-game shows together. We're gonna have a ton of fun with this Jays series. BK Voiceover says JSN 4 years, 148 million ASAP.
What's the math on that? 148.
You do that, Derek. That's your wheelhouse. We had an insane 33 pressures today. That is right. That's what PFF has. 33 pressures. PFF has only 4 quarterback hits. I don't know why that is, but that's why I said we'll wait.
PFF will double count pressures though. Just like if you just add up like the individual player pressures, like they'll count 2 pressures on one play. So you got
because they've got 9 sacks as well. They don't do half a sack kind of thing. Yeah. Leo says, yes, definitely don't miss Chris Myers in the playoffs. NASCAR fan here, but hey, it's my birthday and Hawks gifted me a dub. Wasn't it nice for the other team's kicker to play like shit? Did anyone else enjoy that?
That was missing the extra point early when they're rolling. That kind of sucked some life out of them. That missed kick was just, it wasn't just a missed kick. Like Jason Myers has a that was like kicked like 10 feet wide.
It never was good and it stayed bad. Like it was nice to see someone else's team have that kind of game. Jacob Moon, last one here, says he gifted 5 Hawkblogger memberships. These are free memberships for folks. If you like and subscribe to the show, turn on gifting, you can be one of the people that gets one of these free memberships. All right, Derek, closing thoughts from you. Where are you at on this team?
Yeah. So first off, that JSN contract would make him the second highest paid, ahead of Justin Jefferson, behind Jamar Chase, which is probably fair. And the cap's always going up. So, look, this is a playoff team. Like the doubt around Sam Darnold should probably be over at this point, right? It's 6 games through the season. He's almost certainly going to continue to be number 1 in EPA per play after today. Like, if you have that kind of passing offense, you should be in the playoffs. And the way the defense is playing, the way the defensive line is playing, you get healthy in the secondary. There's no reason they shouldn't get there. Brian, question for you: the Seahawks win total before today or this game was 9.5, which seems really low.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what would you pin this team at? This could be a 12-win team to me, rather easily.
I think that's significant for you to say that because I think you were the most conservative, and you weren't negative. You were conservative. You had 10 wins for this team to start the year. I had them at 12 wins to start the year. They've lost some games that I thought that they were going to win, or at least going to play better than they did. The 49ers game in particular. This is a 12. Whether they end up with 12 wins is a question, but this is a 12-win quality team. That's where I'm at with this team. This is a wins playoff games quality team. Whether they do that, a lot of things left to figure out. But what I see, Deryck, is a team that's already won 4 games, already won, is it 3 road games? 3 road games at Pittsburgh, at Arizona, and at Jacksonville. All those teams, I believe, had winning records when the Seahawks went and beat them on their home field. They have been injured. Devin Witherspoon's played really one healthy game. Julian Love's been out a lot. Nick Emmanwori just played his first real full game of the season. I think there's a lot of reasons to think that this team will improve over that time. And interestingly, I talked about this with Jeff yesterday. The defense has one of the easiest remaining schedules in terms of the offenses that they're going to face. The offense has one of the hardest remaining schedules with the defense they're going to face. But look at what they just did to a Tampa Bay defense that was highly DVOA rated, to a Jacksonville defense that was highly. Now, they didn't dominate this one, but like there could be more games like this ahead for the Seahawks offense. It's going to be rough sledding.
I would definitely have it that way than the other way around, though. Like, I would rather face hard defenses than hard offenses, because who wants to face, elite offenses week in, week out? Elite defenses, this offense has shown they can deal.
Yeah, 100%. We got one more super chat, and then we're going to get out of here. Runaway, it's Lubu says, with how good our D-line is, don't think we need to rush Derick Hall back. Worried about our linebacker core, though. Ernest Jones is the truth, but the rest... Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch this game. I thought Drake Thomas played okay today. I don't have this negative Drake Thomas take from today. Yeah. Did you?
No, I don't think he didn't stand out in any negative way. It just seems like that was already a spot where they didn't really address anything throughout the offseason. You're kind of looking at like, okay, they're really banking on Tyrice Knight developing after he had a fairly promising rookie season, and now he's on the bench. So it seems like it's a spot that I could see them looking to make a move.
I think that would make. I think that could really improve this team, and I just feel like this team has not played their best football yet. I don't think they played their best football yet. I think the season's out there in front of them, and they got this game against a quality opponent. So all that's good stuff. And last thing I'll just say there is, it's really nice to have the more physical team, usually week in, week out. And kudos to that defensive. I thought the defensive line set the absolute standard in this game for coming back and saying, no, that's not who we were. This is who we are. And how many times over the years, Deryck, have we seen one of those bad games and then that hovers for a while? Like the Lions game last year started a really bad streak for the defense.
Yeah, and they just looked lifeless. But
they did.
Today, it's like, yeah, they got their ass handed to them last week, but they delivered every single. It was seriously like every single play. You just were like, there's the D-line pressuring Trevor Lawerence. There's the D-line pressuring Trevor Lawerence. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. Good stuff. Make sure you check out Deryck at DERYCKG_. I'm Brian Nemhauser. That'll do it for this post-game edition. Seahawks go to 4-2. We will play Monday Night Football at home against the Houston Texans a week from tomorrow. And now, go M's tonight. Let's get it. All right, take care, everybody.